everybody for this second day activities. I'm very happy that we have a big crowd. Even if we did not put youth section, this is actually young adult section. So, okay. I was my fellow speaker, Admiral Eduardo, and I were worried early this morning. There was only two of us. So we said, what? Let's move over to the youth. But I hope that I've started off the day light enough. What I'm going to take up today as is something that you think would be very didactic. It's really not. We are family here, so I will ultimately shift the focus and focus on what we, the family, are doing. So, of course, let me greet our indefatigable and passionate organizer of this very first Seafarers Family Conference, Marisa Oka. Welcome. Yeah. Please give her a big hand. Let me also, I will not fail to mention some uniformed guys here. We have with us a Navy officer, our only contribution to the activities in Somalia. The single Philippine contribution to anti-piracy operations in Somalia. He's here with us, the first Philippine Navy liaison officer to the Combined Maritime Task Force in Bahrain, Captain Gaudencio Poliado Jr. He stayed there for 1 year, and I'm sure that in the open forum, or we'll be inviting him to our activities in the maritime industry, so that he can share his insights, especially on piracy. But I'm digressing. I just wanted to let everybody know that we are actually contributing to the anti-piracy effort. The Philippine government has one Navy officer there. So let's now get into business. I'd like to welcome everybody, and let me begin my presentation by giving you a background, short description of the maritime industry in the country. I think all of you know you're all seafarers or seafarers' families, and you're all involved in seafaring. And the maritime sector still offers one of the most attractive careers in the country today. And several factors contribute to the charm and excitement of the seafaring world. For one, the maritime industry continues to be relevant as the demand for professionals is consistently high. Consequently, the demand for Filipino seafarers is also high. Second, maritime professionals receive highly competitive salaries. I think all of you are aware of that. And aside from high salaries, our seafarers have the opportunity to travel to diverse places. These are some of the perks given by shipping companies who are, as you know, also represented here. But more importantly, seafarers are acknowledged to be the significant contributors to the country's economic stability. It is no wonder that they, among the other overseas foreign workers, or OFWs, are referred to as the new heroes, or ang mga bagong bayani. The seafarers' willingness to join the international fleet, plus the benefits and privileges of the job, and the opportunity to serve the Filipino nation through the maritime industry is of course supported by maritime education and training institutions which abound in the country. Today, there are several notable maritime education and training centers that provide education and training for applicants and those other interested parties. On the whole, these factors contribute to the growing labor supply market in the Philippines today. So let me show you some figures to to further elucidate on what I said, what I'm showing you is the BIMCO, or the Baltic International Maritime Council, which is one of the largest organizations and respected organizations in the world. There are 14,000 ships, all the PNI or the insurance clubs, ship brokers are also part of the BIMCO, and of course the ISF, that is the International Shipping Federation. Back in 2005, BIMCO sponsored a study to find out the supply and demand figures. This was, I think everybody is very aware of this. Back then, in 2005, they said that the whole world would be short of 10,000 officers. But we have an excess of ratings, or seamen. So BIMCO and ISF again made an update. So they, for the 2010 study, they're now saying that the shortage is 13,000 officers. And seafarers are essentially balanced, for the ratings. And so you see that there's a 2% increase in manpower demand, and this 2% is solely for officers. It must be noted that the supply estimates are based on the numbers holding STCW certificates. So those who are not holding any certificates by any other means, but are still aboard ships, but they're not included in the count. And of course, the demand estimates are based on detailed review of the numbers, the sizes, and the types of ships in the world fleet, and revised estimates of manning levels agreed upon during collective bargaining agreement negotiations among the different fleets. Let me now show you the next slide, which depicts the supply. Where do they come from? And you will see that we are almost equal with OECD countries. This is the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. These are the developed countries. For officers, we have 184,000, both. Far East, of course, includes the Philippines. And that's 29% of all the officers. And for ratings, we have 36.7. Despite the growing demand and steady supply of seafarers from countries like India, China, and the Philippines, it is still widely predicted that unless something is done rapidly to address, for example, retention, recruitment, and upgrading of competence among seafarers, shipping will still face a manpower crisis involving qualified officers. Having seen the global figures, let me now focus on the Philippines. In an article provided by the UN ESCAP, or the Economic Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, the Philippines is cited as the principal supplier of seafarers in the international fleet. Official records of POEA, of the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, shows that in 2003, there were 214,691 seafarers hired or deployed through agencies. And the latest record indicates that there are about 380,000 seafarers who were employed in the world last year. The number is 380 because of the reliefs, changes in the departures and arrivals of Filipinos, because the POAA did not count the exact number of names of those who were deployed. Of course,